Yeah. Hi there. Mm. Yep. So, am I audible, ma'am? Is this thing loud and clear? Do you have any disturbance? All good. Thanks. So we'll be sticking to the schedule. Okay. Strictly. Uh, sure. Sure. Let me do this thing quickly. Web. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Yes. Yes. And my God. I hope. Hello. Hello. Yeah. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Yeah. Hi. Good evening, everyone. This is Govind. I'm from Career Launcher Agra, and today's session is specifically for people who have joined us to. This is an interaction session which will be talking to Aryan, who is a fourth-year student of Nalsar, Hyderabad. So Aryan studied with us 4 years back when he was leaving his 12th standard, and he cracked Clat with a very good rank. A very good afternoon, a very good evening to everyone who is there. Okay, so we are very good. Okay, so let me just walk you through the agenda for today's session. What is the agenda for today's session? So this session is a totally very specific session in which we will be talking about the definite course structure, the CLAT changes, the career prospect, and of course, I will be inviting Aryan for this particular session in which Aryan will be discussing what is his life in NLU, how the things are going in Nalsar, Hyderabad, what is the placement, and what are the different things. For people who have joined me late, let me welcome you again. Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Govin. I'm from Career Launcher Agra, and this session is brought to you with Aryan Shastri, in which Aryan will be discussing about the courses, the curriculum, and the career prospect of getting into a top law school in India. Okay, so let me quickly define the agenda on the screen. So like many of you have attended my sessions, I have a very clear definition of how I proceed with my agenda. So the agenda is very specific. The agenda in this particular case is this, that we have already predefined all these things which are the predefined agenda. Okay, so this is how we will be going with. Okay, yeah, so let me just quickly ask for the students, for the colleagues to admit people in. I hope people are getting admitted in, right? Okay, okay, just a section, just a second. Okay, someone from the tech team, please. Okay, just a second. Let me just quickly change this thing to this. Okay, okay, that is good. So somebody from the tech team, please allow people from the group. Okay. So that is the whole idea for today's session. So hi, let me welcome you back again for each and everyone. So today's session is specifically for people who are okay. Now I can see a lot of people are entering here. Okay, cool. So let me just quickly disable this thing and okay, cool, cool. So hi guys, good afternoon everyone. This is Govin. I'm from Career Launcher Agra, and today's session is here. Today we are talking about a lot of things. Uh, one of the very important session that we are going to have today is with Aryan. Aryan is with us today, and he will be walking us along the journey that he has undertaken in the Nalsar, Hyderabad, and what are the career prospects that he possibly sees after getting into NLU. Okay, so this is the whole idea for today. Okay, I hope we are good now, right? Okay, okay. So, so there are two things that I want to talk about right now. The first thing is what are the career prospect once one get into NLU. Okay, so the first thing, the very first thing which comes to my mind is the change in the pattern. Okay, so a lot of you might have heard about this thing that Clat on 21st November issued a press notification saying this thing, that the students who are in class 12 are unnecessarily burdened because of this whole academic pressure, and they have to appear for the exams also, the 12th class exams also, and apart from that, also a lot of things that a 12th standard student needs to do. And a very important thing is to appear for the career entrance exams that one has to take after the class 12 board exam. So over this particular thing, they have decided to change a lot of aspects of CLAT. Okay, so the lot of aspect which the CLAT has have been changed. The Nalsar, the head of Nalsar, has asked us to redraft the pattern for the examination. Okay, so this is the session in which I'll be discussing about all these things. Okay, the first and foremost, let me ask few people so that if they can. Okay, cool. Yes. So yeah, so they are very clear about how this thing is going. Okay, so people are joining me late. Okay, so let me welcome you again. So the pattern of CLAT has changed. The first thing which I wanted to discuss to you is the CLAT pattern, which has recently changed. Okay, so what is the new pattern? So new pattern in CLAT focuses on the reading comprehension. Your reading skills should be good. Okay, your comprehension skills should be good. Okay, so these two things are of prime importance. Okay, so let me quickly show you one thing, and after it the whole session will be based on that particular thing. So what we have here is the press release which was issued by the NLU when the whole thing was changed. So I've got this press release. This press release is from the consortium, okay, in which we can very clearly see what is the change pattern. So they clearly say this thing here, that the CLAT 2020 will have a change in the pattern of the questions in UG. Okay, number one thing, where comprehension based questions would be asked from quantitative techniques. Guys, they have renamed this section of maths as quantitative techniques. Okay, number one thing. Second thing is they have able section. Now there will be less questions from the grammar part. There will be more questions from the RC part. The third is current affairs. And likewise, they have eliminated the portion of static GK. A lot of students had a lot of issues while mugging up all these things, and it was very cumbersome process in order to learn and cram all those things between a span of 45 minutes, because as soon as we class 12th exam, the only thing in our mind is chalo bhai छुटकारा मिला 12th से, अब हम लोग मजे करेंगे. Okay, so this thing happened. Okay, so let me quickly share this thing. Yeah, I hope this thing is visible to everyone right now. Okay, yeah. So in this, they have clearly mentioned this thing, the pattern of the what is going to be new pattern of CLAT. Okay, so I hope this thing is very clear. Everybody is having okay. So the another thing which was very important was that one's need to have the ability to solve 200 questions in 2 hours. Okay, so initially when we were talking to students and we were training them to do 200 questions in 2 hours, one of the very important information was that students often said this thing, sir, we are having problem, we are having trouble because our speed is not there, the speed is not there, so the accuracy suffers or we lose out on the questions part. Okay, due to this particular thing, a lot of students are facing very difficulties. So he says this thing very clearly in this thing. It was also resolved to reduce the number of questions from 200 to 120 to 150 questions. Professor Faizan Mustafa, who is the VC of Nalsar, said that asking student to answer 200 questions in 120 minutes is not right, as it puts student under a lot of mental stress. Okay, the exam will remain offline and the duration will be of 2 hours. He told the idea to get better students for NLU who have competence in reading text and demonstrate skill in inferential reasoning. Now, here, this is one of the most important thing that one has to focus on. The words are very clearly written here. I hope you can see this, or should I change the color? Let me change the color to yellow. Okay. Those who have competence in reading text or demonstrate skill in inferential reasoning. Okay. So inferential reasoning वाली चीज क्या है, किस तरह से इस चीज को मैं आपको बता देता हूँ. Okay. Yeah. सो बेसिकली पूरी की पूरी चीज क्या है कि जो टेक्स्ट होते हैं, जब हम किसी भी टेक्स्ट को पढ़ते हैं तो उससे क्या इन्फर करते हैं. ओके. और हम जो चीजें इन्फर करते हैं उनका क्या क्या मतलब क्या क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव बनता है, तो उससे हुई है. ओके. तो ये पूरी पूरी बात यहाँ पे हुई है. ओके. आई होप दिस थिंग इज वेरी क्लियर. मेरे हिसाब से लोगों को ये वाली बात समझ में आ गई होगी. ठीक है. Hello, am I audible now? Few people are saying that my voice is breaking. Okay, okay. So I hope there is a problem with the internet connection. Let me quickly just try to make things okay. Okay, am I audible now? Okay. Okay, okay. So we are having some issues with our internet, I guess. Right? Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Am I audible now? Please, can you please confirm everybody? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Few people are having issues. Okay, so I hope actually this is evening time and the network might be overcrowded, and that is why we are having some issues. So I will try to go slow so that everybody hears what I'm saying. Okay, okay. I got it. Okay, so yeah, the thing which I was talking about is very clear that now we need students who can easily thank you, Muskan. Okay, now we need students who have competence in reading text and demonstrate skill in inferential reasoning. Okay, so basically the thing is we need students who can read faster and who can infer from the context of these texts. Okay, so what is the concept of inferential? For example, when we solve question, there are a lot of things which we talk about what is the concept of inferential reasoning. Okay, so those things are basically making this thing a part of inferential reasoning. Okay, so similarly there are a lot of things which the Clat authority and the consortium gave out, and that particular Clat authority and consortium also issued some sample papers, also issued some certain guidelines on based on which the question paper changes will be there. Okay, so now I'm I hope I'm audible. Yeah, can somebody please confirm me this thing so that we can go ahead. Sure. Very good. So let me quickly go back to my agenda right now. So the first thing was the Clat structure and the new changes that we have. Okay, so the changes are very clear that the changes are in favor of people who are from who can read faster and who can infer faster. Likewise, the Clat will reward students who will be having an ability to infer better concepts while reading it at least once. Okay, so this is the whole agenda and the point that we are discussing. Okay, so again, few people have joined us right now. For them, I would like to welcome them to this particular session. Good evening. Okay, so this session we are talking about and in this session we are talking about a lot of things, but the main thing is that we are talking about how Nalsar and NLU changes your life. Okay, so this is one thing. So let me quickly see if Aryan is there, and okay, okay, hi Aryan, I can see. Just a second, let me unmute you. Hi Aryan, how are you doing?
Hi Govind, I'm good.
Okay, okay, nice. Let me, yeah. So I hope everything is fine. I hope you're safe. And, nothing related to COVID thing is which is going on right now as there, right?
No, everything's good. Everything's good.
Okay, so let me just introduce Aryan. So Aryan got a very good rank, and right now he's in the 4th year of Nalsar. Okay, he's a student at Nalsar, Hyderabad, and here we'll be discussing a lot of aspects of Nalsar, as well as we'll be discussing a lot of aspects of how one should enter into NLU by clearing Clat. He'll be giving you important tips about how he studied and how he cracked Clat. Okay, the first thing which I wanted to ask you is what are you doing right now? I mean, like in the middle of academic session, what are you doing right now?
So right now we are working on our projects. Initially, we were supposed to be done by a semester by April end, including our exams and all the project submissions. But because of the lockdown and the pandemic, and now because we have a lot of people who come from areas where we do not have internet access, so project deadlines, etc., have been extended indefinitely. So all of us, we are either busy making projects or making project presentations to our teachers. In the meanwhile, we feel that this lockdown period is a very good opportunity to upskill ourselves because it is obviously necessary, because in the aftermath of this pandemic, we will definitely be seeing an economic slump. So it is very important right now for every law student in this market to upskill themselves. So we are attending webinars, conferences, doing certificate courses, etc.
Nice, nice, nice. So the first thing which everybody should note here is that a lawyer is never free. So right now, the lot of students who are in Nalsar, they are doing certificate course, they are doing skill development things, which will be helping them in future career prospects. Okay. So second thing which I want to ask you, Aryan, is so what is your academic background before you joined Nalsar, and what were your favorite subjects in school?
So before I joined Nalsar, I did my 10th grade from ICSE in 2014. I was in the science stream at school in Agra, missionary school. I got 95% marks on this. In class 12, I completed from CBSE, also science stream, 91%. Why I'm mentioning my 10th and 12th percentage here is not just to brag or anything. It is because even till the 5th year of law school, when you apply for internships and for jobs, your percentage from the 10th grade and the 12th grade, it goes on your CV. So it is not that your 10th and 12th percentage does not matter, it matters to the end. So that's, I thought it's important to mention it here. As far as my favorite subject in school is concerned, my favorite subject was history, and even till this date I am a history buff, and I have a special interest in military history, world wars, etc., conquests. But this is a word of caution for everyone listening in and who is planning to join law school in the future. Subjects which you study in school, like history, economics, sociology, political science, especially for those who have opted for the art streams in your school in class 12, you will also be studying these subjects in law school again, but they are very different from how you approach them in a law school curriculum. We look at them from a completely different angle. So when you do join a law school, do not expect that subjects like history and political science and sociology will be the same as how they are taught in your school. Now, as far as competitive exams go, I had a CLAT All India rank of 119. Then we used to have the IPU CET back then for the Indraprasth University in Delhi. There I had AIR 24. I also got through some non-law exams like JEE Main and IIM Indore's IPM 80. I did not make it in NLU Delhi's IELTS exam, so that is my academic background in brief.
Nice, nice, nice. And a word of caution for people is that for people who indulge a lot in studying history, so and think that the same thing will be taught in law school. So Aryan is very clearly saying the history that they taught that they teach in law school is totally different from the history that we get here. Okay, yeah. So Aryan, please go ahead. Okay, so my
Yeah.
next my
So I hope everyone's my academic background. Can everyone see that?
yes,
I've,
yes, it's visible. It's visible.
okay. Okay. Great. Okay. So moving on, preparing for CLAT 2016. I personally started considering CLAT as a serious career option not very early on. It was in September 2015 when I started thinking about CLAT as a serious and law as a serious career prospect. And well, when I joined Career Launcher, that was after my grade 12 boards. That's when I felt that I had the time now to join. It was kind of a hurried decision, but I don't regret doing it at all. Now, given my background, my academic background, where I did my schooling from and the board which I belong to, I already had a fairly good grasp of English and GK. So that those sections were not a lot of problem. But what a coaching institute and career launcher help you with your preparation is that, as you can see, I have mentioned on my PowerPoint also, that they help you cement your concepts. They make you practice the concepts a lot so that you become thorough with them. Even if you're a good student at mathematics, the key to getting good marks in CLAT mathematics is that you should be able to do questions fast. So if you go to career launcher or you go to a coaching institute, then you will definitely learn a lot of shortcuts and tips and tricks, which will really help you in the exam hall. The most important part of my preparation was that you have to do a lot of mocks, as many mocks as you can do, because of the lockdown and because of the indefinite delay in conducting the CLAT exam. Now, all of you will be appearing, you have a lot of time on your hands, so do as many mocks as possible. I personally, I did 30 to 35 mocks over a period of 45 to 50 days. If you want, you can skip analyzing a mock, but you have to attempt as many of them as possible. And if you see that you are committing a lot of conceptual mistakes in legal and logical section, those you should definitely consider analyzing, because those are conceptual issues which you have to work on before you go appear for the CLAT.
Okay, nice. So that was a perfect answer for the most repetitive question which you might have heard, which is specifically that how did you prepare for CLAT, right?
Yeah, so that's how it is. And now, because in CLAT 2020, now we are seeing that the pattern has also changed. It's completely RC based. So you'll have to do a lot more of reading during your time compared to how much we had to do during our CLAT exam. So it is very, very important that you already have or start developing a thorough reading habit. You go through newspaper editorials if you can. I'll suggest the Hindu, Indian Express. Everything is available online for free now. You just disable ad blockers. Go through articles on websites like Scroll, The Wire, etc. So you can read, you learn to read fast and you learn to understand and grasp the concepts by reading them only one time. You should not have to go through any passage more than once during your exam. So you have to start reading a lot. So that's my like tip.
So and this was a very important thing which often we assert this thing very importantly in class is this, that once you read the passage you should not go back to the passage, right? So my next question is a very the very first thing which a lot of students must be interested in knowing is how is the life at Nalsar?
So as far as life at an NLU, first let me talk about how a life is at NLU, not just an NLU, even any law school, regardless of whether you get into an NLU or not. The main advantage, or you can even call it a disadvantage, but the main change which you undergo when you join a law school is that you start critiquing everything a lot, not necessarily in the negative sense. Criticizing, you start, deep diving into things. You start looking for reasons behind everything which is happening right now. If you hear that the lockdown has been extended, you'll not just see it as a particular announcement by the government of India. You will start thinking that what gave the government the power to extend the lockdown like this? What are the powers of the other parts of the government, like the judiciary, etc., over things like this? So you start to analyze things. You have to ask more and more questions, and you have this urge to get to the bottom of things. So what you do is you gain perspective. This, I know it sounds a little philosophical, little abstract, but what I'm trying to say is that you start seeing everything around you, start seeing life very differently. And this is something which only a law course can teach you, and I don't think any other course will give you this kind of expanded perspective, given the kind of subjects which are taught in every law school and the kind of people who you encounter at your law school, given the diversity, because you have people from all kinds of backgrounds, castes, class, all regions of the country, even abroad. So you get a lot of perspective, viewpoints. So you really start seeing things in a different way.
Nice, nice, nice. So basically, a very important thing is that students should start analyzing things which are happening around them. For example, we often relate these examples which happen around you to the important topics that we teach into the class. For example, let us say the woman empowerment. Today, I was taking a session with the class 11 student, which was this, that the student were asking me, sir, how does the triple talaq thing were going on? So a lot of important cases came up, and those important cases were very relevant in the due course of time. So any important case which you can cite right now, which can be taken into important notes of student.
Uh, could you repeat the last part of your question? I did not get that.
Any important thing, any important question which I should say, important case which every student should read right now?
Any judgment? No, I will strictly advise everyone attempting CLAT to against. I'll advise everyone against going to any judgments. You really do not need to go through entire judgments.
Okay.
Not as a CLAT aspirant, even less so as a law student. Even we tend to rely more on judgment summaries because our courts tend to be very verbose.
Hmm.
Their judgments run into hundreds and thousands of pages. So really, you just go through case briefs. You just keep abreast with legal news and legal developments. You really do not need to go through any judgments as such.
Okay, okay, nice, nice, nice. So this was the first thing which a lot of students were pressing me. Ki sir, we want to know how a life in NLU is, and a lot of students keep asking me, ki sir, NLU में कैसा होता है? How the life is, and how what do people do? What are the projects? So I want to ask, what does your typical day at Nalsar look like? Like classes are there, workshops, seminars, book reviews, and projects, and what else?
So as you can see on the screen that this is an important clarification before I go into how my typical days. To everyone who's listening, everyone who's going to be writing CLAT, even if your friends are going to be writing CLAT who are not here, you should definitely keep in mind that if you do not get into a top NLU, or if you do not get even if you don't get into an LLU at all, if you have to go to Symbiosis or Jindal, etc., please do not think that only an NLU can guarantee you success in life. I speak from personal experience. I am myself between rank 45 to 50 in a batch of 125. So I'm not among the top 30% of my batch. But I have been to a lot of internships, and I have seen that even non-NLU student and people from newer NLUs, if you work hard, then you will definitely surpass even those who come from top NLU. So please do not be disheartened if your results are not according to expectations. Now coming to how a day at Nalsar is. Uh, Now this is how it works. Now for first, second, and third years, we have around 4 hours of. I think someone is able to draw on the screen.
Hi, can you please allow me? Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, mm, just a second. Actually, you need to turn off, disable the annotation thing from your side. Okay.
Just a second.
So there will be an option of annotation above where you have started the screen sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
There will be an option of annotation. So go to the right and turn off the annotation. Disable attendees annotation. There will be an option.
Uh,
No?
I'll just stop screen sharing if this is how it
Okay.
goes.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
I'll just continue without the PowerPoint. That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah. So for the first, second, and third years, we have around 4 hours of regular class and 1 hour of tutorials. Plus, we have other mandatory activities like what we call a mood clinic. So, mooting will be a very important activity throughout your time at law school. It's optional, but it is recommended that you do get a taste of how it goes. For fourth and fifth years, because we have a choice-based credit system, so you get to choose your own subjects. So depending on what kind of subjects you have chosen, some days you can be completely free, no classes at all, even during weekdays. And other times you can have 4 to 5 hours of class one every day. Fifth years, they are also engaged in teaching tutorials. Now, what tutorials are? They are supposed to complement regular classroom teaching by the professors because our university's administration feels that junior students in the first and the second year will be more comfortable sharing their doubts and problems with their peers, which are their senior students, compared to how open they would be with the teachers. So tutorials are doubt solving sessions and complementary sessions which are taken by the fifth years for all the subjects which are taught to first, second, and third years. So we have 4 hours of classes, 3-4 hours of classes every day, 1 hour tutorial. A normal day, we get breakfast. You only, obviously, it's optional. Most people don't do it because they wake up late and there's no time to take breakfast. Then we have class from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then we have a half an hour break where we are served tea, cold coffee. Then we have a 1 hour tutorial till 12:30. Then lunch. Then 2 more hours of class, and that's it. By 4 p.m., you'll be completely free for the rest of the day. We also have evening tea, dinner, and sometimes we have extra classes for the junior batches as well. So we definitely spend quite a bit of time eating and drinking. We just have 4 to 5 hours of class a day, and the rest 19 to 20 hours you can choose to do whatever you want. We all have, obviously, there are lots of ways to pass our time. You just don't need to sit in your room, watch movies, or browse social media. You can engage in sports. We have all kinds of sporting amenities. You can engage in music. We have all kinds of instruments, etc., just to jam. You can just sit with friends, chat, do anything. Our campus, it's very large, and more than half of it is covered with trees and lawns, etc. Very less built-up space. So it's a very green campus, very clean campus. We have a huge lake behind our campus and hills, etc. So it's a very peaceful place, very beautiful. It's very far away from the city, so very quaint, very quiet. So I had some pictures of my campus, but now as there are some unruly students here who have joined, so they'll be
Not.
missing out on that.
Yeah.
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 Now, obviously, very frequently, we will be hosting inter-college events. They can be debating championships. We have people from other colleges coming in, quizzing competitions, moot courts, sports fests, etc. We also have a lot of legal experts, social activists, politicians, bureaucrats. They come down to our campus. They give interactive talks on specific topics, domain expertise areas. So, as a law student, it is very enriching to listen to these experts. You get to debate with them, you get to learn from them, you get to interact with them. You can also go up to them, talk to them, and even get internships under them. We also have, apart from academic commitments, we have to do mandatory readings, sometimes going through some judgments, writing projects, keeping updated with what are the developments in the legal field and in the world also, politics, etc. Because as a lawyer, it is extremely important to be aware of your surroundings. You need to know what is going on in the socio-political arena not just of the country, but of the world as well. Because law is dynamic, it keeps changing depending on how the society works and what are social conditions at play. So it is very important to be aware of all of that. Now, as far as projects are concerned, projects can be a myriad kind of projects. We can be asked to write essays about a particular legal issue, legal controversy. We can be asked to give our opinion on a particular judgment or a law which has been passed by the parliament. We can be asked to rewrite judgments depending on how we feel the court should have decided a particular case. We review books, we review movies. Obviously, we review them from a particular perspective, either from a legal perspective or from a social perspective, etc. That way. So this is how.
It's nice.
Yeah. So I see that someone is asking, can you please tell what is a moot class? So what a moot is that in a moot you emulate. It's kind of an artificial courtroom. So you get a particular moot problem where you get a fact scenario, and you have to go through that fact scenario and you have to frame issues. So there's a dispute which is given, and basis of that dispute, you have to research and you have to frame arguments, and then you have to argue in front of judges. It's like a competition. It's like a fake court. Yeah, we will have Q&A after the session. So yeah, you can ask questions after that.
So
Ragging. There is hardly anything like ragging now. Not just because of the UGC guidelines, even because it's a law school, so people are very aware of things like this. Everyone knows their rights. If anyone gets ragged, you can definitely call the police. No big deal. We are lawyers, so don't worry about ragging, etc. Nothing like that.
exactly. So this is one thing which is very clear in lawyers, that they know all the legal means in order to involve the necessary organs of the government in order to stay safe, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we are
So
aware.
you mentioned one thing that often than not you get chance to interact with people from legal field. So
Yeah.
have you interacted with some prominent lawyers or any prominent legal luminaries when they come to your college?
Yes, yes, yes. Not just when they come to our college, but even when we go outside for a competition or for a conference. Like once I went to a university in Bangalore to present a paper in a conference. There I got to interact with a sitting Supreme Court judge, who is now a judge in the Supreme Court of Fiji as well. Also, we have had lawyers like Mr. Arvind Datar who have come to our campus. We have interacted with them. I've interned under a few senior advocates like Mr. Salman Khurshid. He's a senior advocate, and Dr. Pinky Anand. She's the Additional Solicitor General of India. I've interned with them. So you get to be very close to them. You get to learn from them. So being a law student, you definitely have a lot of opportunities of learning from the best, not just in college, but even during your internships, etc.
Exactly. That's really nice that you have got exposure to such beautiful people who have done great work into the field of law, and it feels very energetic to talk about such people who have showed us that what a legal profile should look like exactly. Okay, so my next question is that a student just asked me this thing to ask from you, is that what are the best career options in law?
Yeah. So because this is also a question which has been asked in the chat as well, so I advise people to listen carefully. Uh, so definitely you have a lot of options after doing a degree in law. The most sought after option is joining a corporate law firm, which is what I am also planning to do. The second option is going for litigation as a traditional lawyer. You go either join a litigation firm or you become an independent practitioner. Then you can write the lower judiciary exam like the PCSJ. You can even write the IAS exam if you want to, if you feel that you should go for that. We have had people from our college who are currently serving IAS, IRS, IFS officers. You can definitely also go for higher studies. Most of the people from my college who go for higher studies, they go to foreign universities in the US and the UK, like Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, etc., on scholarship most of the times. So you can definitely go for an LLM if you want to learn more, specialize in a particular subject, and you can actually do anything which you want to do. I have a particular senior who graduated law school. She got a lot of job offers, and then she went to culinary school in Paris because cooking is a passion. So you can do anything after law school. It's just a degree. If anything else other than law is your passion, you can definitely go for it even after completing a law degree. So there's no restrictions basis that.
Right. Now, this is one thing which we share. I also happen to have a friend. She's a Spanish girl, and I met her while I was traveling. And she is a lawyer by her education, and right now she is doing a pastry course in Australia. She's a chef by profession. So that's
Yeah.
one we share, right?
Hmm.
Exactly. So moving on to my next question, what a lot of people are asking me is, what are you planning to take up as a career after doing law?
So as I just mentioned, I am also planning to join a corporate law firm after completing my degree. What you should know about a corporate law firm is that many people in India, we do not have what the concept of a law firm is like. So how a law firm is different from a traditional lawyer is that you very rarely go and appear before an actual court. You sit on your desk in an office, you go through contracts, documents, and you advise clients on multi-million dollar deals, hundreds and millions of dollars. There are companies which buy each other out, they purchase shares, etc. So you advise clients on that. You do not actually go in front of a court. So that is how a corporate law firm works, and that is what I am planning to do.
Okay, nice, great. Okay, so a lot of questions are coming, especially from one guy who asked me, Sachin. Okay, so Sachin is asking, what is the average placement of Nalsar? And I know we can easily Google this stuff, but it becomes authenticated when it comes from a student himself. Uh, so, can you
See,
please?
so it really depends on what kind of firm you join. If you are selected by a foreign firm, which is very rare, as someone mentioned in the chat, they were talking about the Magic Circle firms. So we do have firms like Herbert Smith Freehills and Allen and Overy, etc. They do not come for campus placements, but they open internship opportunities. In London, you get to go and intern in London. And if you perform well there, they give you a training contract. Once you get a training contract, you start at around 45,000 pounds, which in Indian currency is greater than 40 lakh per annum. So you start at 40 lakh per annum, but getting that kind of, but getting a training contract from a foreign law firm is very, very rare. Only two, three, four people from every batch are able to get it. Most of the other people, they join domestic law firms where you can easily get from anywhere between 9 lakh per annum to 16, 17. So 12.5 to 13 lakh per annum is the average package.
Okay, nice. Okay, so did any company visited your campus in the past few months? Yeah.
Not in the past few months because we were supposed to have a recruitment exercise in the end of March and in the beginning of April, but because of the lockdown, it got postponed. So in the previous years, obviously we have had all the top firms of India coming to our colleges. We have what is called the Big Six law firms, which are AZP and Partners, CAM, SAM, Khaitan, Luthra, and Trilegal. Obviously we have all of these coming to our campus and many more. We also get companies like Sony and Edelweiss. We have banks like ICICI and HDFC coming to our campus for recruitments. We have PSUs also like the Steel Authority of India Limited. We have them also coming to our campus for recruitment. So these are some of the prominent names as recruiters who we have.
Okay, nice. So let's quickly move on to the very important topic that we are here to discuss, and which every student here is anticipating that we should cover. The thing is, what should one do if they have one whole year at their disposal to prepare for Clat? Okay, and one student also asked me that is it good that they start preparing for Clat when they are in 11th standard?
See, it really depends on what grasp do you have on different subjects which are asked in the CLAT exam. So I would suggest if you are in grade 11 and if you are considering law as a career, then in grade 11 itself, you should at least look at the CLAT paper pattern and you should look at the level of the paper. You should try to assess where do you stand and how difficult do you think the paper is for you. Because we know that not everyone comes from the same background. Not everyone goes to an English medium school. And obviously at a law school, we want diversity. We want people from all kind of backgrounds to come. We do not want just people from good English speaking schools. We want every kind of person to come to law school. So I think that if you have 1 year at your disposal, it will be really beneficial for you because not just you can, if you do not have prior grasp over spoken English or GK, during a span of 1 year, you can definitely, cement your concepts in English and GK, and you can definitely practice more and more, analyze more. So 1 year course is really, it's the ideal kind of preparation time if you do not have a very good spoken English background already.
Okay, okay, nice, nice, nice. So, okay, so moving on to the next question. One of the very important question that a lot of people from science background need and proper answer is this: that you are from science background and you were exceedingly well in your 12th standard and you scored a very good percentage also. So, was JEE on the cards, and why did you choose law over engineering?
So it was less about choosing law over engineering, and it was more about choosing anything except engineering. I did, pursue an engineering JE coaching for about a year and a half, but after that, I really started despising it. Because of that, I also was not doing very well there. So I just quit that. And after that, I thought that I saw the CLAT paper. I thought that this is something I can see my doing. I can see myself doing in the future. So that's when I started gravitating towards law. I did appear in the JEE mains exam because I registered for it, so I didn't want the money to go to waste. I even cleared the JEE mains exam. I didn't appear for the advanced because there was no point paying more money for registering, etc. So I did make it through JEE, but I was never really interested in engineering. It felt very, monotonous, so I did not really go for it.
Nice. So you are the one who listens to the inside call and who chose to go for law, right?
Yeah, and my parents and my family, they were all very supportive. They were like, yeah, as long as you are good at what you do, just do whatever you want. So that was really good.
Exactly. So often than not, people ask you what to do, but there are few times then people ask you what not to do. So my question here is that what things differently you would have done if given a chance to appear again for CLAT?
If I had the chance to appear again for CLAT, I would still want to be in the same college where I am. Nothing against NLS Bangalore, but I'm very happy where I am. I don't think I would be as happy there as I am at Hyderabad. But if something I had to do differently, appear in CLAT again, I would probably try to work on my logical reasoning more so that I could get a little more marks. And why that would help me because is that in the top 3 4 NLUs, for the people who are among the top 20 ranks in each NLU on the CLAT ranks. For example, in NLS Bangalore, the people who had AIR 1 to 20. In Nalsar, Hyderabad, people who had AIR 60 to 80. All of those people, they become eligible for a scholarship, which is called the Aditya Birla Scholarship. So your tuition fee, they cover. So if I had gotten a little higher score, I may have been eligible for that scholarship. I might or might not have gotten it, but it would definitely have been better to have a shot at it at least.
Nice, nice, nice. So any specific pitfalls that one should avoid while preparing for CLAT?
There's only one thing which I'll say that you should not get demoralized. You should not be held back due to low scores, even if those low scores are in 1 mark or even if in 10 marks. If nothing else, you will at least increase your speed and you will know which option out of those four for a particular question is the wrong answer. Even if you don't know the right answer, you will know what at least one wrong answer, so you will avoid that in the exam hall. So you should definitely not let speed bumps turn into barriers in your preparation. So keep your morale high.
Okay, okay, nice. So another thing that one student is asking me is how many hours should one devote for studying every day for cracking CLAT?
This is obviously very subjective.
Yeah.
For me, whatever hours I used to have at my coaching center, 3 or 4 hours every day. Plus, I used to do one mock. I tried to do one mock at least every day. So I used to prepare for 7 to 8 hours. But if you are not very good with an English section or the GK section, you should definitely like do as much as you can. There's no limit. Sky's the limit. So
Nice. Okay. So this is a little modified question that I want to ask you. I ask you that what things differently you would have done if you are appearing for CLAT again. So I want to ask you now is suppose we are giving this year's CLAT on the new pattern. So what extra things that you would do in order to score more?
If I had to appear in this year's CLAT pattern, I would definitely start reading more. The thing is that once you get into law school, that habit of reading, starts to go away slowly, slowly. You become more and more complacent once you get into a good college. You start taking things for granted. So definitely have to, get good with DI, because I was not really good at DI. Now that everything is DI, so I would have to focus more on that, and definitely reading faster and understanding things faster. That.
Okay. Okay. These are the two important things that everyone needs to know. So here is one thing that people were saying to me, ki, sir, we need to know about this thing. We need to know about this thing. So here were some questions that a lot of you asked me, that which are focusing on this particular aspect of how to go about these particular sessions, right? So another question that I want to ask you here is, how do you rank okay, this is for the later half. Okay, for the people who have joined me, there is one thing that I want you to do. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. So here is one thing which I'm doing right now. So I'm giving you a quiz. A lot of you want to go for NLU, right? So I want to know how many of you know about NLU. So there is a quiz which is coming up in your chat. It has only 5 questions, and you need to answer these 5 questions. And you have got only 2 minutes. Quickly go to the link which I have posted in chat. Answer these questions so that your knowledge about NLU is checked, right? Okay, quick.
Uh, would it be possible that during these 2 minutes, I can just go through the questions in the chat and just, answer them in 1 or 2 words? There are a lot
Sure.
of questions, small questions. I
Sure.
just
It's
need time
pleasure.
to answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can you clear CLAT? I've already talked about that. Your teachers will be better suited to tell you how to clear CLAT, because when I gave CLAT, the pattern was different. So I am not the right person to ask this question. Please show pictures. Sorry, I wanted to, but there were some people who were constantly using the annotation tool. So yeah, that's their fault. What is mood class? I've already told you. It is like a fake court proceeding where you get a problem, you present arguments in front of judges, and they give you marks basis on how you argued and how well your research was. Uh, Magic Circle law firms I've already mentioned. These are US and UK based law firms. They do not come for campus placements, but they do offer internships to people from NLUs. You can go to London to intern, and then if you perform well, you get a job there, a training contract. No, there is no dress code, Soumya, in at least in our college. In most colleges, there is no dress code. You can wear anything you want. Uh, how many hours should be devoted for studying? It depends on you, how good you are in different subjects. So what is the salary? It averages from 12 to 13, 14. You can get more than 40 lakhs per annum if you get in a foreign law firm. How to clear CLAT? Again, your teachers can tell you better. How do you motivate yourself for CLAT? Uh, I don't know. I felt backed into a corner, so that was like the only option. So that is also kind of a motivation for me, I guess. For you, I think I'm not the right person to tell you how you should motivate yourself. I'm not that kind of counselor. What all exams should I give for GET in law school other than CLAT? Other than CLAT, there's IELT, there's MHCET. You can go to GLC Bombay through MHCET. You can give the symbiosis exam, and obviously you can give the LSAT. How much marks you got? I got 157.75 out of 200. The fees for my college per year is 2,41,000 rupees. Obviously, there's scholarships available for people who have income less than a particular level, like I think less than 6 lakh per annum. If their family income is less than that, you can get scholarships. Average salary package, I've already discussed. My thoughts about Dr. Faizan Mustafa. He's my vice chancellor. I'm still a student. I'd rather not say, but I think he's a great man and he's a very good administrator. The students at our college, we really appreciate him. Are you doing internship with your studies? Yes, definitely. Internships form a very, very important part of your studies. You should definitely go for internship during every vacations you can, because now that we have so many new law schools opening, there are so many people on the market. In order to be able to get a job once you graduate, you have to have a lot of experience already on your hands. So intern whenever you can. Even when college is going on, try to pursue online internships. how we get job as lawyer from college. If you go for an as an independent advocate, you just write the bar exam and you get start practicing. Getting clients is how you deal with it. Nobody can tell you how to get clients. How often do you get to interact with them? When you are working with senior advocates, you do not get to interact with them a lot because they are obviously very busy people. uh, any benefit of pursuing science in 12th and going for Clat than humanities? No, it doesn't matter what kind of subjects you have had in class 12. Just that initially, during the old pattern Clat, if you had maths in class 12, you'd be at a slight advantage because you'd be good with numbers. But now another everything is DI and the pattern has changed. It's like an equalizer. So it doesn't matter what stream you had in class 12. Is it worth going to foreign college for further studies and later on practice in that country only? Yeah, definitely. You can specify, you can specialize in a particular subject area which interests you. And if you, but then definitely the problem with practicing law in a foreign country is that most of them, they do not recognize undergraduate degrees for practicing law in those countries because the law in every country is different. So you will have to again do all of your learning in that country, the laws of that country, and then you'll be able to practice there. Is it better to have integrated course of BCom and LLB as I'm a student of commerce of class 12? It really doesn't matter what you are doing as a part of LLB. It is purely if you think you'll be more comfortable with BCom with LLB, sure, go ahead. Are you doing BA LLB or BSc LLB? In Nalsar, Hyderabad, we only have BA LLB. We do not have anything else. Can you please share pics of the campus? Sorry, I cannot. You can just go to Instagram and search for hashtag Nalsar Life or hashtag No Love Like Nalsar Love. You might get to see some posts. They might be from private accounts. With that, I can't really help. Is it a proper time to have training in the course to clear CLAT exam? At least prepare for a year. Are you studying BSc LLB? I'm doing BLLB. Can you please share pics of the campus? No. How many seats in Nalsar? We have around 125 to 130 seats in each batch, including all the reserve seats. We have horizontal reservation as well for domicile people from Telangana. What will be the cons if you first join in a corporate firm and then decide to switch to litigation? The con will be that you will not get paid as much. You will have to struggle a little because as a new litigating lawyer, it is kind of difficult to find clients. So you will not have the steady flow of income. But compared to a law firm, you will get to decide your own timings because in a law firm, you can be working for 12, 13 hours a day. As a lawyer, you decide your own time. So that is a pro. The con is that the income you will suffer initially, at least for a few years, till you build a client base and you become a reputed lawyer. After that, obviously, all seniors lawyers, they earn in crores and crores. They pay taxes in crores, so their income must be much more. Talk about motivation. No, I can't. How to balance class 12th and CLAT? It's not very difficult. BSLLB, I'm from BLLB. Any dress code? No dress code. How can one focus on studies during these different times? Just remember that you don't have a lot of options. So you have to. Being a science student, was it not difficult to prepare subjects like history, polity to prepare CLAT? You don't have to prepare history and polity a lot to prepare CLAT, really. Uh, and honestly, I was already, as I mentioned, I was interested in history, so I already knew quite a bit of it. Uh, if I have 1 year to prepare for CLAT, then how much per day time should be given? It depends on your preparation. How much do you know about? Sorry, what will be the cons? How you manage studying?
Okay, so I have a very good question with me.
Yeah.
That what are the subjects that you have learned in your BA LLB course? So you can name
Uh,
few.
So you in the first, second year, you'll be doing tort law, you'll be doing contract law, but mostly you'll be doing the BA component of subjects, the BA part of your degree, which is sociology, political science, history, law and literature, law and language. These are the courses you'll be pursuing in the first 2, 3 years. Then you start studying taxation law, constitutional law, company law. Then you'll have lots of electives like GST, public-private partnership, infrastructure law, banking law. There's a lot of subjects on offer.
Nice, nice, nice. So that means actually the main thing is one needs to be very holistic while studying law because you don't know what you are dealing with. So you need to have a control over all the aspects. You need to study a little bit engineering also. You need to know about the accounting also. You need to know about the humanities also. You need to know about the art and culture also. So you need to be a complete person. Okay. So that is one thing. Okay. So another thing is that we will be moving to another thing right now. Okay. So I have few more questions for you, Aryan. So can we go ahead with these questions, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. So one thing is this that a lot of people are asking me, sir. I'm in class 11, so should I start preparing in class 11?
Yeah, sure. Why not? If you have decided that law is what you want to do, and if you're sure about that, then definitely start preparing from class 11 itself. There's absolutely nothing bad about it. There's only to gain, nothing to lose. So definitely you should start from 11th if you want to. Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this was one thing. Another thing is which I want to ask you. Now, this is one a very personal question from my side, which a lot of students feel that, sir, once we go into law school, the life becomes more hectic because often than not, when I go to students who are studying in law school, I talk to a lot of people across different NLUs. They say me one thing, sir. First year and the second year in law school is hell, then the life becomes easy because you get used to hell. Is this thing correct?
See, not entirely. And this is also a very subjective question. If you want, you can choose to make your life difficult at law school. And
Okay.
if you choose to make your life difficult, you definitely reap the rewards as well. All the people who are among the top rankers of my college or any college, they chose to devote more and more time to studying after classes, doing more extracurricular activities. So it's definitely your choice if you want to have a more difficult life in college and then a rewarding life afterwards. If you just want a degree and you really do not see that you will actually be going to law, if you just want a degree and you'll eventually end up joining a business or anything, you can just go to class and then watch movies the rest of the day. It's really nothing like that. Obviously, the final 2 years you have more time on your hands compared to the first 3 years because you don't have as many mandatory subjects in the fourth and the fifth year. You can make time a lot more for yourself compared to the first 3 years.
Okay, okay, nice. And a very important thing that a lot of people ask me when I teach in class is, sir, is reading the Hindu, the newspaper. I'm talking about newspaper. Is reading the Hindu newspaper is essential for preparing for CLAT?
It's not essential, but it is recommended. Obviously, the editorial part, you can expect that the actual CLAT exam might have an editorial copy pasted from the Hindu. So, and it's not just for the purposes of the CLAT exam, but even going through editorials of prominent, reputable newspapers, you really prepare yourself for law school because law school is full of debate, not just inside class, but even outside class. You keep debating with your batchmates, with your friends about different things. So if you keep reading up newspaper editorials, etc., you will be able to argue better, not just in law school, but even after law school as a lawyer.
Exactly. And I hope this is a habit which stays with you of reading newspaper and being updated about things which are going around you. And this thing, when this thing comes into your life, this thing is very rewarding because you know about everything. Okay. So you can go into some space and you can talk about different things, and this thing becomes very easy, right? Okay, so one thing is one thing now. This is the one personal request from my side. Another personal request. This is that how do you rank Career Launcher LST program aligned with the law preparation of NLU, and how many of your classmates are from Career Launcher?
So see the kind of study material which I got at my CL Agra center, and the kind of classes which we had, the course content which was taught to us as part of Clat coaching in CL Agra, I found it to be really helpful, of course, in law school. At least in the first 2 years, when you do basic subjects like law of torts and you do the basics of contracts, you you do the basics of constitutional law. So, because of the study material which we get and the kind of classes we have, you already have a basic understanding and you know what to expect in law school. So, in that respect, it's very good, the kind of material which we get at CL. Also, this is my kind of I would like to thank the faculty at my center, especially Sumati ma'am and my math teacher. I don't unfortunately recall his name right now, who used to teach me to 2016. I found them to be very understanding of all my requirements. They were of the opinion that I was relatively ahead of the classes curve. So they went ahead and they provided me with extra guidance in form of additional, more advanced, more difficult sheets, practice sheets, special doubt solving sessions, etc. So if you work hard even at Career Launcher at your coaching institute, then you will get the attention you deserve and the help you need. So I'm really grateful to them for that. As far as how many people from Career Launcher are there in my batch, out of a batch of 125, I think at least 30 to 35% people will be from Career Launcher's regular program. If you include the test series and distance learning, then you could say 40 to 45% people have in some capacity been associated with Career Launcher.
Wow, that's a really huge number when it's come from a student who is already studying in Career Launcher. And I really hope that this number is increasing day by day because a lot of people who are going into NLUs who are your junior are also from Career Launcher.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this was one thing. So let me quickly take few more questions. One question is this: that once you are in your 10th standard and you have cleared your 10th standard, a very important decision is to choose the stream. Okay. So was taking up science a good decision in choosing to do law after it?
Yeah, definitely. The stream which you choose in class 11th or class 12th, it really, as I mentioned, it does not really have a bearing on how well you do in CLAT. CLAT is a test of your reading ability and your logical ability and your general awareness. So, regardless of whether you're from commerce or arts or science, it really doesn't matter. So, you can definitely, after 10th, do not choose streams based on CLAT. Just do whatever you're comfortable with. CLAT, your performance in CLAT does not depend on which stream do you choose.
Okay, okay, nice, nice, nice. So this thing is very clear that your performance on of CLAT does not depends on the things that you do. Okay,
Yeah.
so a thing which a lot of you might be wondering is this that sir हम लोगों ने ये subject अगर नहीं लिया होता so ये चीज एक बहुत important है जो बहुत सारे बच्चों को जाननी चाहिए कि बेसिकली आपके सब्जेक्ट का डिपेंडेंसी यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा कम है डिपेंडेंसी है इस चीज की दैट यू नीड टू हैव अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग गेट एंड डिटर्मिनेशन इन ऑर्डर टू क्लियर क्लैट ओके and your preparation should also be very streamlined when I'm talking about the CLAT. Okay, let me take few quick questions and then we'll be wrapping this thing up. So what are the optional subject that we should, okay, so this is a very specific question, Anshika, we would skip it. Okay, so which year from which year we should start applying for internships?
From the first year itself, do not let go of any opportunity. From the first vacations which you get, immediately after your first semester, start applying. Do not leave any vacation period empty. Intern as much as you can from the first year itself.
Okay, and how did you manage to study between board and CLAT?
I started preparing for CLAT after my 12 board exams. I did the crash course, but that was because I already had a background in English and GK and current affairs. So I did not have to struggle with balancing 12th with both. But if you do not have a background like that, then 1 year is more than enough to prepare for CLAT. Even if you have 12th class boards also to focus on, you can definitely easily manage CLAT and boards in 1 year. So if that's the case, then you should join a 1 year kind of program.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice. So, do you have any cultural fest and any other type of fest in law school? This is a question coming from Shikhar.
Oh yeah, a lot. We have a lot of cultural fests, like too many to name. Now most of the fests which we have, they are regional fests. So students who come from a particular region of the country, they organize those fests. Like every year we have a Rajasthani fest. We have an Awadh Magadh fest. Awadh Magadh is organized by people from UP, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, MP, Bihar, this region. We have a Lodi Fest, which is organized by people from Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Haryana, Punjab. We have South Indian Fest. We have a Telugu Fest. We have an East Fest, which is organized by people from uh, West Bengal and the northeastern states. We also have other cultural programs like Carpidem, etc., which are intra-college cultural events. So there's no dearth of things like this. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to enjoy life at law school. Don't worry about that.
Nice, nice, nice. So one last question, and after that we'll be wrapping this thing up. Okay, so this is from Shekari, one of my student, and the question is: once we get into NLUs, is this only the grades that matter in our participation in other activities? Moot court debates also have an importance in our marking.
No, not in your marking, definitely. Uh, if you mean your college results do not depend on how many extracurricular activities you're doing. They only depend on what marks you get in your written exam. But when you go to sit for placements and when you apply for internships, when you apply for jobs, then obviously marks, they are an important component. But if you have done extracurricular activities, definitely they will prefer you above someone who has not done them. So you should definitely keep doing them throughout law school.
Okay, so this is so this was it. Another thing for all the people who have joined us today, that we are having batches for crash course as well as 1 year program and 2 year program. So if you have decided, like Aryan said, if you have made up your mind to prepare for Clat, start it right now. This first beginning, this early start, this head start will prove to be very beneficial for you, and this will help a lot. The batches and the demo classes will be on Monday and Tuesday. The batches will be starting, the 1 year batch will be starting on the 9th. Okay, so this is one thing. Another thing which a lot of people are asking me is that when are the new batches for crash course are starting. So the new batch for crash course 2020 for people who are going to give Clat this year is tomorrow. They can write their name and WhatsApp number into the respective WhatsApp group, and they will be sent a link for the demo. Okay. Another thing, I've also sent a link into your chat box, which is the feedback for this session. This that thing also has an option of asking questions from Aryan, and Aryan will be answering these questions later on. Okay, so I hope this was a good session, right? So one quick last question, and after that I will be thanking Aryan for joining us. Does your school grades matter in getting placement in firms? Tehrim is asking.
Can you
Aryan?
repeat that? Your voice is breaking. Could you repeat that question?
Sure. Tehrim is asking, does your school grades matter in getting placement in firms?
See, your percentage and CGPA which you had in class 10th and class 12th, in the CV which you submit for internships and jobs, those two things go above your college grades. So it definitely is the one thing which they see the first when you open your CV. So even if they don't consider it that important, it is there on your CV. So it can affect your placements, but not a lot. If you are doing very well in law school, then even if you didn't do very good in board exams, it really doesn't matter that much. But it does goes on your CV, so you should definitely be warned about it.
Okay. So this is one thing which okay. Okay. So all NLUs provide foreign exchange programs. So this thing differs from NLU to NLU. Different NLUs have different types with different universities across globe. and they have exchange programs also, they have working programs also. They also give you opportunities to interact with the professors. They also give you opportunities to write papers under them, do research under them. So there are a lot of opportunities which are available. So that was it. Thanks a lot, Aryan. Thanks a lot. It was really nice of you to take out an hour from your time. I know you are very busy doing your project, but it was really wonderful. And I really hope that everyone here in this particular chat, in this particular meeting, is really thankful to you from his whole heart that you are here to answer all the queries. Thanks a lot, Aryan.
I'm very sorry to anyone whose questions I could not take. There's actually if you are on this side, you know there's a lot of questions coming in, a lot of them very repetitive. So whatever link has been shared, please put your questions there. I'll definitely answer all of them. I want to answer them. I want to make everything as clear as possible, at least regarding life and law school. So I'll be looking forward to your questions, and I'll definitely answer them. So please put them wherever they are to be put, not in the chat anymore. Just put them in the link. I'll definitely answer every single one of them.
Yeah, so I'm putting this link for the questions once again. Okay, so if you have any questions, please put in and Aryan will be replying to these particular questions. So once again, Aryan, thanks a lot. Please stay safe, please stay indoor, and I hope you have a very wonderful year ahead at Nalsar, and I hope you do exceedingly well into your placements also.
Thank you. Just one last thing.
Yeah.
For the people who are asking for pictures in the chat, see, I cannot show you right now. I will recommend if you have Instagram, you just go and search hashtag Nalsar or hashtag Nalsar life, etc. And you'll be able to see them. I hope so. Just Govind, just give me 1 minute if you can.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, if there are people who want to see pictures of our campus, see, I have a few. Uh, these are all pictures from our campus. As you can see, we have a very big green campus, lush green, lots of open spaces. This is our mess hall. There's a garden. In the bottom left corner, you can see we have these birds who eat snakes because we have quite a bit of snakes in the rains. This is another part of a campus. This is another part of a campus. We have lots of trees on campus on which we get very beautiful flowers. As you can see, this is filled with pink flowers. We also have some wildlife on campus, cats, dogs, snakes, some birds. Uh, we also have very dramatic sunsets, as you can see. Very, very beautiful place. You will not regret coming to Nalsar. Like it's very beautiful. Like I'm missing it a lot right now while looking at these pictures. So I really hope that motivates you to work hard because, like, believe me, it's worth it. All of it is really worth it.
Nice, nice. So those were really, really great pictures of Nalsar, and I really wish that this will motivate a lot of students and they will start preparing seriously for CLAT, and it will also give confidence to those who are just in the middle of deciding whether they should prepare for law or not. So if you are going to have these beautiful sunsets for 5 years, I would say, given your 2 years, prepare your ass off and then prepare and get into Nalsar. This is the one college which is doing exceedingly well into placements, into education, and into the college life also, right?
The best. It's the best.
Okay, okay. So that was it. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. I hope it is not late. Do get your dinner on time. Please stay inside. Please stay indoor. And once again, CL rocks and Aryan rocks. Thank you, Aryan.
I'll be looking forward to all your questions. Bye.
Okay, bye.